Good afternoon. This week's Torah portion, a portion of Tetzaveh, we read about the candelabra, the menorah that was in the Holy Temple, which was kindled every single day. In fact, till today, the State of Israel's symbol is the menorah, as we spoke last week, which represents the Jewish people, the light upon the nations we have to be. But the Torah tells us that Moses had to command Aaron that they should bring the menorah, kindle the menorah, kosis lamar. They have to crush it in order to illuminate it. And the question is, what's the message in this idea that kosis, only when it's crushed, is then lamar, does it illuminate not just to light others, but to illuminate in the strongest and most possible way? 1992, the Rebbe had a stroke, and the last thing that the Rebbe did, one of the last things the Rebbe did before, was give a booklet to each and every one of us, which was a Chassidic discourse. And the Chassidic discourse was based on this week's Torah portion, on the verse of Yata Tetzaveh. And in there, the Rebbe explains that the Jewish people are compared to an olive, because an olive, when you crush it, you get the oil that comes out of it. And sometimes the same is true with the Jewish people. When they try to crush us and they try to hurt us, we illuminate and we light even greater. And the Rebbe explains there that the word lamaor means not just to light, but to the illumination on its own, the essence that illuminates and sends the rays. And the message, he said, is that we have to know and understand that sometimes in our greatest challenges, struggles, tribulations, we have the power and we become stronger to be able to illuminate even more light. And that's something that we've seen throughout the time since October 7th, that the Jewish people, as they tried to crush us more, we've illuminated more and more and more. We've sent beacons of light and rays of hope to those throughout Israel and throughout the world. And one of these people is the hostage Eli Sharabi, who we all saw when he came out of captivity after nearly 500 days, and he was half of his weight. He looked like a survivor, literally. And Eli Sharabi, when he went into captivity, he did not know that his wife and his two daughters were killed. And only when he came out and he asked for his wife and his daughters, did they tell him that his mother and his sisters are waiting for him. And he understood that his wife and his daughters were gone. And he did an interview with Channel 12, even though he's the first hostage to do an interview, because he wanted to be there to advocate for his friend who is still, and his brother who is still in captivity. And a few of the things he said were really moving. One of the things he said, that every day in captivity he said Shema Yisrael, although he wasn't a religious Jew, and it gave him strength. But they asked him if he thinks he's ever going to be able to have Chaim Uhusharim, a life of worthiness, of joy, of happiness. And he answered Betach, he said, of course, because I've learned to appreciate things differently. He spoke about how he was in the darkness and chained and starved. He says, today when I go to the fridge and I open up the fridge and I'm able to take out a fruit or a drink, I appreciate it. I'll never open the fridge again the same way as I did before my captivity. He spoke very powerfully. Again, a beacon of strength after being crushed in such a crazy way. But the president, Trump, saw his interview and invited him to come to the White House where he's meeting with the president today. And I think that what Eli Sharabi, amongst all the other hostages that were freed, remind us is that the Jewish people are like the olive oil. The more you crush the olive, the more oil and the more light it emanates. And the same is true with our people. That the more they try to crush us, the more the stronger and the more courageous we are. There's many hostages still in Gaza, and we don't know what's going to happen with the second phase of the hostage deal. But we can never forget the courage, the hope, the strength that these hostages have shown us with their faith, with their perseverance, and their advocacy for others that have not been so lucky like them to be led out of captivity. Have a great day.